Good morning. Oh, wow.
Insane.
Ooh. We're not cult leaders yet. Stay tuned. No, I'm kidding. It's more of a like knitting lifestyle. It's not really a cult.
It might appear that way to an outsider looking in, which
That
is
it's a
always
cult?
the way with a cult. Yeah,
I
think so.
mean, we're just proponents of slowing down, doing more things that you enjoy better, and doing less things in total. Do you think can we agree?
Normally, yes.
No, not less things as in like less whips or less stuff like that. I mean like
it just hasn't been relaxing for me in my prep.
no, that's what you did to yourself.
I know.
You created this situation. Yeah. Good morning, Allison. No, you created that. I know.
Did.
You know what? Everyone is probably so shocked that we're on time that no one is planning to actually start at 9, which is fair given my track record, everyone. Yikes.
Yeah, I was shocked when I came walking towards the store and I saw Ethan walking in the door ahead of me.
Oh,
and
I didn't even see you.
Oh God, I don't have time to get my coffee. He beat me.
Sorry, everyone. So I am actually I like to be quite early. So I'm gonna unzip all of my bags. I already took the thing out of plastic, which I think is a miracle that we should all appreciate. Because we all know I love to something for 6 minutes on the podcast and then never go back and edit the sound out. Obviously, I just leave it forever. Good morning, Louise. Good morning, Janet.
How can you read those?
I got my glasses updated. So did you.
I did, and I can't read that.
I need to go back to the optometrist and tell him what happened. You need to be like, it didn't work. Yeah. I need stronger ones. It's like a pain patient. No, I'm anyway, by the way, this is brought to you, all of these projects, not officially, they don't sponsor the podcast yet. I'm sure they will eventually. I'm going to talk to them about it. But this is all brought to you by my redesigned Rip Torn feet bag, just as a side note, everyone, which Anisha has been watching me unpack for the last 10 minutes, because we've actually been here set up, and I still didn't do this, because I was focused on getting all of the technology working, which I feel really good about. Oh, good morning, Liz. Yes. Oh, so we both got here. You're knitting something coordinating with what you're wearing.
I am.
Which
you probably can't see it on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's not working on what I'm wearing.
I love the fact. So I almost wore Timberline this morning.
Yeah.
And I was going to be showing this that I'm making, which is the exact same color.
We've done that before.
I know, and I thought about it this morning when I was getting dressed, and I was like, no, you have to grab something else. And then I was looking at my other projects, and I was like, Ethan, you can't bring those. No one can get to those yarns. And then it's like, no, wait, you got those from the shop. Some of those, you can just bring these in now. Oh God, get it together. Sorry, it's hard to remember occasionally the things that are all here now, right?
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah,
I come in usually twice a week, and I still look around the shop every single time because there's new things each visit.
Yeah, we're here to help, depending on how you want to use that word, I guess. I like to.
We're here to influence.
I like to use the word help in the frame of mind of as I mentioned previously, I like to live in a bit of a yarn bubble. And now everyone lives in my yarn bubble. So I'm just like, oh no, that's not going to work for me. You need at least 20. And we can talk about this later, but I've had several hand-dyed yarn revelations because for many moons I was so confused why people were so into hand-dyed yarn, and I get it better now. I'm ready to actually have a good positive chat about it, which I think shocks everyone who's watching. So before we get to that though, Anisha,
yes.
What are you wearing? What are you working on? What are you carrying it around in? How is all of that gift knitting going? That is not looking good. That looks risky. Okay.
But this project looks great.
It does.
We'll start with what I'm wearing. So I have worn this on the podcast before, but it is the Bloom Bobble Slipover.
Bloom Bobble Slipover.
Yes, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's like an open-sided vest with I-cord, a lot of I-cord and
double knitting. And
yes,
picots.
Picots, yeah. It's got a beautiful picot edge on the neckline, bobbles, obviously, it's in the name, and a lot of broken rib. The back is entirely broken rib.
Yeah, it's really beautifully feminine, and like not aggressive. Does that make sense? Like, given every, but like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
it could be overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's not. I think the yarn choice, the superwash yarn, making the baubles a little less dimensional, if you will, in my opinion, really helps. I do think
that was an accidental choice, but thank you.
Okay. Well, I do think it would look great. Gasp, shock, horror. In Acadia.
It would.
It would also look great in Luma, to be clear. And you could, if you wanted like a rustic version, do it in Lore. And the great news is, if you're ever struggling to choose, we've helpfully hung them all 3 in a row like ducklings when you come into the shop.
I think if I was going to do Lore, I would do buttons on the side instead of the tie, and make it more like winter, winter adjacent.
Yes. So maybe go up,
nice.
Or like add some additional stitches so the side closes more as well at the underarm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that, and that green.
Okay.
Can you reach that?
I can, absolutely.
Stunning color.
Yeah. I've got a go-go gadget arm situation. Can you read the people that color name?
Comfort. That's a cute name.
You know what? Everybody reaches for comfort. I'm not kidding. I think it's the best seller here at the shop in this yarn. So let's see if we can all now pressure Anisha over the next year into doing that to amuse all of us. Great. She's easy to influence, so it's not going to be hard. Speaking of which, Anisha.
Flocktober project.
It's going so well.
It is. I don't know if it was apparent on the podcast last week, but I was starting to panic. I'm still panicking about how many days I don't have between now and my flight on Thursday. Have
you considered calling in sick multiple days and not sleeping? As some solutions. If you're watching this podcast, Anisha, and you are employing Anisha, I'm just gonna, she feels very hot. Everyone feels hot, like, as you just felt, my hands are not the warmest, but she actually, she might have a fever, she might need to take a couple, anyway, there we go.
So much.
I'm just here to make sure that we are covering the background of the situation. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
That's my alibi.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm on.
Here we go. So this is the Ingrid pullover by Petite Knits.
Yes.
The body, is that the final rib at the bottom, or is that?
I am gonna do one by one. So
okay.
The bottom is not
critical.
bound
I'm
off.
just confused by the situation.
I hadn't made a decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
The body is not bound off, and we are going into some 1x1 rib.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. That's looking so good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be playing yarn chicken, but I'm not. I'm safe. So I'm going to add the 1x1 rib to the bottom and finish the sleeve. Get it blocking by Monday, and I think the weather is going to do a turn, and it's going to be cold. So hopefully 3 days is enough to dry. It will be.
Well, worst case scenario, you can always bring it to the studio.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Where it's perennially blocking weather.
And I'm doing this in Amble and Wild Rose.
Yes.
Proud of me.
I am. Oh my goodness.
And Berenice in Argyle Lord.
Agile.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's looking really, really great. Sometimes I think I overthink whether or not you're going to see texture or stitch patterns with yarn held double, because there's such a predominant prevailing opinion that it really obscures what's going on. And watching you make this has made me really want to make something in either double seed stitch or seed stitch with yarn held double and just get over my
I quite like
obsession.
The fuzzy look that it gives it. I think cables and textures look really nice when they're defined. Yes. But it's just a different look, but equally beautiful when it's got
like
that
softly
fuzzy.
worn, but not aged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we can all have an open agreement that the yarns held double the pleasure, because it's double the joy of picking things out. It's double of it's also double the risk. Like, I think we've, all once or twice had something go horribly awry with a yarn held double situation that you thought was going to be normal. I've been down that road. Yeah, goodness. Oh,
Yeah,
I
but we-
made one of those like giant oversized cabled sweaters by Stephen West. Like the really huge boxy one that he released a couple of years ago. In a sport weight yarn that was alpaca and possum and Polworth, held double, and it was just a nightmare. Um, the knitting of it was fine, but wearing it, it was like, oh goodness, it was so heavy.
Yeah.
Even though it was really like, it was a sumptuous fabric, lots of positive things to say about it that way. Then I had a really bad experience with some Rowan Kid Silk Haze. Sorry, everyone. And hi Lori from Whitby. Lovely to see you. Might see you in person soon because I'm headed back to the Great White North for Christmas. Anyway, yeah, it's just been a bit of a roller coaster ride since then. Coming into the yarn held double thing and trying to. There's so much actually with it. It is almost like an entire separate side of your knitting. It's like you need a yarn held double project, you want a yarn held single project, you might also want a colorwork project, and maybe, in case none of them are cabled or texture, you also might need a cable or texture project, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the emergency sock, and the, oh god, brioche shawl, just in case you can't really make up your mind what to work on at any given time.
Yeah.
So my Flocktober has gone quite well, I think. I finished this pullover, which I really, really love. I've worn it already on the podcast. It's in merino singles from Dark Omen in the colorway Cyberpunk, and I'm super thrilled with it. Thank you. I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it, and I'm going to make more of them. Probably a bunch more. They don't take, I would say, because you can knit fingering weights and especially singles for so much longer than other things, and they're really simple shapes that you can knit flat on a relatively big needle, like a 3.5 mil needle. You can just have them sitting around and work on them here or there. It's really like 140 rows of knitting, to be honest, which if you think about a shawl, that's not really that much comparatively. Like some shawls are way more than that to knit, and this one is only like 150-ish stitches wide for each piece. So it's really like, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And the yarns that you work with are so pleasurable when they're like this, when they're so light and
it's
easy.
so fun to see the colours
It really is.
come together. Yeah.
Quite mesmerizing, and the singles block and meld together so beautifully. The other huge, huge benefit is I've definitely been exploring more singles, and this is my first single held double situation. I can admit, I think I Icarus'd this a little bit. I flew a little too close to the sun, if you will. I'm moderately obsessed with the fabric it's producing. So this is the Veronita, and we will have some in the next order. This is all chain fiber. And the Dashing Sassy, and they're both in the colorway Shibuya. So that's it held double and blocked. I'm going to cover my face so that it zooms in on this and Anisha. Look at that. I know, right? It does it. No, it makes you clear at the same time. And it's once it's blocked, it's even more bonkers. It really blooms. It becomes super light and fluffy and flexible. I think that the Dashing Sassy, I'm going to try to knit a pullover in it. I think it's going to be a bit too soft, if you will. I think it might be very high maintenance if you make a jumper in it. So we'll find out after we knit it. Sorry everyone, just to be clear, I don't have anything to do with the ordering or that any longer for the shop, so I have no answers for those questions. If you do need help with anything like that, please get in touch with help@getflock.co.nz. And they may have an idea, but a lot of that has to do with supplier timelines, so that'll be a discussion there. But yes, just get in touch there. So yes, I am in love with this. It's super fun to work with. I think that the singles held by themselves will be great. I have made a pullover actually in the Dashing Sassy singles before, but it was knit entirely in the round, which I would never do with singles now, held single. With singles held single, that's crazy to say, but it's true. And yes, so that's been really fun to work with. And I am still just chipping away on, I've added, I think, 3 more repeats in the last 2 weeks to this guy. It's not fast going because I'm not sitting there like trying to hammer it out every day. But this is the Yak singles, but you can also use the Dashing Sassy in place of them. Takes 2 skeins of that and 4 skeins of the Melted Baby Surrey. And I've been working on this for quite a while. It's a really relaxing, easy to remember repeat. It's 2 repeats like horizontally per section, and it's just got a nice, easy selvage. It's just slipped. So you're not trying to like remember what to do or trying to hold a brioche. Oh, from Midland as well. Look at this. I haven't been to Midland in so long. So Midland is this like incredibly, strangely cute little town in Ontario on the banks of a lake. And it has this like it had a fantastic little art museum or art gallery, and it had like this restaurant attached to it. Anyway, haven't been there in forever. Who knows when you'll go back, but it does have a lot of cute historic buildings. Any hoodles. This is the Flying Foxtail wrap by Stephen West. I'm chipping away at it. I think people would love to knit it. It's super straightforward to work on, and that is kind of my whip wrap at the moment. This is a prototype so that I know how to knit and make a shape that is more, how do you say, compounded. So it's a drop shoulder shape, but I want to make sure that there's an easy way to progress the armhole depth without throwing off the total proportion of the garment. Which is very possible, but it turned out to be a little trickier mathematically than I anticipated. Row gauge versus stitch gauge gets strange at certain gauge intervals. And then last and not least, my Flocktober project is by Flocktober rules done. Everything is finished in the last piece is blocking. I just have to finish putting it together. I had to sit and think quite a bit, which is rare for me during some seaming for this particular project, because I had to remember how to knit a button band this way. I don't think I've knit one in 1x1 rib entirely with a vertical buttonhole ever, actually. And I haven't knit like a 1x1 rib button band that wasn't in some sort of collapsed rib, like a shaker rib or something like that.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, okay. I can show you it later.
Okay.
Yeah. My channel cardigan has it, which you may, anyway, it looks kind of store-body, so it's not always obvious. But yes, the 1x1 rib band and attaching it works at a slightly different like row gauge than other ribs do. And I've talked a lot about rib on the Flock Online. There's a whole class called All About Rib. And the good news about it is that after making this, I now remember how to do it. And I took notes, but I definitely have to do it again because it took quite a while, and trying to film it with the amount of time it took didn't work out. But we'll come back to it. So the band is now attached and fully knit.
The shawl collar one that all of
Yes.
I was very confused when you announced you were making a collar.
Yes.
And it looked like a shawl.
So yes, so this is the shawl collar, so named because it is the same effect as if you doubled up a shawl and wrapped it around your neck. And if you make a square shawl ever and you fold it into a triangle and you wrap it around your neck, it actually makes this collar when you do it. So that's where the name comes from. And when you're knitting them by themselves, it must look very strange, like you're knitting the world's worst Sophie shawl, because all of your faces were so horrified when I held it up. So because it's knit in pieces,
it didn't look bad. We were just so confused.
Well, you
we
can't
were expecting
really
a little double knitted button band.
Yes, you can't really see where it begins and ends now because I seamed it together, and the way that I like to seam these bands on creates an almost invisible join. So it's right here where it's joined.
Beautiful.
I'm super, super thrilled with how it's come out. It has a really graphic detail on both sides. The kind of idea was for it to look almost like tree branches on this side. I'm going to get Anisha to look at it because it's clearer in person. So the goal was for it to kind of look like a tree branch on this side and like a fern leaf on the reverse. So yes, it's named Walden after the book by Henry David Thoreau, because I'm a huge nerd. And I'm super, super thrilled with it. This is in Acacia in cedar, which we have plenty in stock. And it took, it would have taken... It would have taken 11 skeins, but it's taken a chunk of a 12th. Because the way that I like to knit button bands, I can admit, is not particularly yarn consumption friendly. Because you can end up ruining quite a bit of yarn by most people's standards. Enough that you may have to open another ball in this case. Because what I like to do is I like to knit the entire first button stand. So the one, also, sorry. Can we just take a look at how neat those little buttonholes are?
Oh, they are.
They're almost invisible. I'm super thrilled with how they've come out. It is a new buttonhole method that I've developed.
Nice.
Yes. And they even look quite nice on the wrong side. Yes, anyway. So what I like to do is I knit the entire button stand, so the portion without the holes, first. And then I seam the majority of it on. And then I begin seaming on, I knit the other piece, block it, begin seaming it on at the same ratios that I worked out on the first piece. And honestly, you can count these as much as you want, everyone, but when you're trying to ease fabrics together, when you're sewing or when you're sewing up knitting, you kind of just have to go by feel and look. The ratios make a big difference and really help. I would say averagely somewhere between 3 to 4 and 5 to 4 is probably going to be correct for attaching a piece of ribbed fabric, just like picking up very similar stitch ratios. Anyway, but just having a look and going as you go and letting it settle and pulling it apart and trying again until it looks right and you count it a way that makes it work out for you properly is important. And don't be afraid to leave lots of markers in the work. I don't really do it because I can read my knitting quite well now, but on a fabric like Acacia or on a hand-dyed fabric where it's quite busy, it's really difficult, and often sometimes too on a mohair silk fabric, it's really difficult to see what's going on with your knitting. So if you're not as experienced at reading your knitting, I would say more markers, less problems. That's my theory on it. Yeah. I finished off the sleeve. I just have to ease it into place a little later. And then it's pretty much all done. The other one's at home, ready to come out of the bath, and it'll be done and blocked by today. And that means I have, and with the red cardigan, I think I started and finished 3 garments this Flocktober.
And you're going to be wearing all of them next week, because I think it's like a high of 12 on Wednesday or something.
Probably at once. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably put them all on together. Like Joey in the one where nobody's ready episode, where he's wearing all of Chandler's clothes. That's what I will look like, but in knitwear. If you didn't get that Friends reference, we can't help you. You need to go watch it. Everyone is talking. The problem is everyone actually references Friends, whether or not they're aware of it. So it's worth watching.
I lied, it's going to be 14 degrees on Wednesday.
Oh, thank goodness, Val. I'm going to really feel those 2 degrees, everyone. I'm going to be like, oh, woo!
Well, it's crazy.
Strip down to a t-shirt.
Today is going to be 27.
All right. Now you have other things, and you have a series of insane knitting confessions to make to the audience. Of
I think it's still possible. If I finish my Flocktober sweater this weekend, get that blocking, then I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after work to knit another one of these.
Anisha is traveling to Europe and the UK, right? Am I getting this correct? She's going to be attending multiple Christmas markets and delivering this as a Christmas gift to someone along the way, from what I have gathered.
Yes, but I don't actually see that person until it's a gift for Christmas. And I see them, like, I'll be staying with them from the 20th.
How many?
So I have a long time.
How many
to
balls
get
of
it
yarn
done.
does it take to do that?
10.
Okay.
So that's why I want to get it done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But if I don't, I will just wind off little wee bits of all 10 and just throw away what I don't use, I suppose, because I don't want to lug that all around Europe on my back. Anyway,
On
I
your
have a plan.
back?
Yeah.
Are you backpacking?
Well, it's got wheels, but yes, it's going on my back because Europe. Have you suitcased around Europe? It's horrible. All the cobbles, stairs. There's no lifts anywhere.
I don't really travel like around when I go places. I like to like go somewhere and just stay there for a month or so.
Yeah.
I'm not a like, you know, it's a stretch to convince me to go somewhere for a 3-hour flight for a week. If my mother or any of my family members is watching, they can tell you that it's like, they'll be like, we should go and do this. It'll be like a 4-hour flight and we'll be there for this long and then come back and like, I don't know about that. Like,
Okay, well, we travel differently, and I don't want to lug 10 balls of yarn around with me. So
I just
hopefully.
like the idea of like rushing around to like try to get a train across cobbles where there's like all these other tourists who don't know where they're going, most of whom have no plan for their day, right? So they're not like walking, they're meandering or ambling. Which I think we can, like, that's
worse because they go diagonal.
Yeah, it's like some sort of like pattern, like they're trying to avoid being eaten by a giant invisible crocodile. Anyway, yes, the long and the short of it is, no, I wouldn't travel like that ever. That sounds exhausting.
Okay, and I brought a couple of knits that I've done in the past that I'm probably planning on taking. Haven't packed yet. This is the first one.
Okay, ooh.
And it looks.
I don't think
funny.
I've seen this one
no,
before.
No, you haven't, because I hardly ever pull it out because it feels too thick for our climate mostly.
Oh, okay. It looks robust.
Yes, it is.
Was it knit with local yarn?
No, and I would probably use Law if I was going to do it again.
Do you know what the pattern's called?
Yes, it is the Billy Pullover
by Sari Nordland. Wow, I can't believe I knew that.
Well done.
Holy, look at me go.
So
call me
it's
Mr.
also
Trendy.
related to the next project that I want to knit. So the next sweater that I put on the needles is going to be, well, it's a cardigan, but it's going to be the Book Club cardigan by Sari Nordland.
And you're just going to live with the cable? Not lining up at the
shoulder.
shoulder?
Oh, no, I'll do something.
Okay.
I'll do...
She's going to take twistic measures.
Marginally better.
Okay.
Yes. I can't do the leg just going nowhere.
It is a choice. It was a decision.
Yeah. Anyway,
people have a lot of opinions about it on Ravelry. There is like some people's patterns, their projects have like 400 comments on them. I was amazed, and people are not like mean-spirited about it, to be clear. There's just a lot of very engaged discussion about what one can or cannot do to manage the situation.
Engaged is a nice word.
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is very thick. It almost stands on its
So
own.
what yarn is this?
It's a knitting for Olive, the heavy merino.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's living up to its name.
Yeah, and I've got a makeup stain on it. Upsetting. What was I going to say? I've done 2 sweaters on this yarn, and I don't like it in honeycomb. I think that's the problem.
That is a
It's
lot
very stiff.
of, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be great for Europe, I believe.
Yes.
So it's a contender for coming with me. And it was, you can see, it was a lot of work, a lot of labour.
If I was better planned, everyone, I would have like put on some Eye of the Tiger before she said contender. I feel bad about this.
And the next one is just a beanie that I have made. So I get...
Okay, oh, here we
I've
go.
got the one beanie pattern, and I just...
Thrash it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those
If
ones
it's
where
not-
it's like every single...
If it's not
weight of
broken,
yarn.
don't fix it.
Yeah. So I'll probably end up making another 1 or 2 of these, but I've got a couple of them to take.
Do you know what pattern that is?
Essential Beanie by Andrea Gorn.
Okay, that sounds right.
I think so.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll back
Her
that.
last name's definitely Gorn.
So one of the Gons, not Nora. There you go. Find a Gon that's not Nora and knit their essential hat.
If I'm wrong, I will come into the comments and correct myself.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. And then last but not least, my stick season sweater.
Okay.
Will be coming with me. This one is in Sanderskan Peergynt.
Yes.
But there are so many beautiful options here that I would love to remake this one in. I find this one's like my rugged sweater because it doesn't have...
I would make a contention personally for Zero, the 100% fluff situation with the cotton core. I think a completely fluffy, decadent version of this, or...
That would not be my rugged version. This is the rugged version.
No, you already have a rugged version. You don't need another one.
You're right.
What you need now is like a... But the thing is, I think, if I may,
yes.
you don't want to do a superwash yarn plus a silk mohair for this one.
No.
Because it's going to be too drapey.
Yeah.
And I think a silk mohair held double, you're kind of like losing value when you do a lot of texture with that, and it doesn't tend to like play nicely in picked up structure. You know, like it doesn't want to give you a shoulder that stays where it belongs.
Yeah.
But I think something like Zero, with the balance of kind of, sorry, I'll grab some, with the balance of that like beautiful core that has a lot of support to it, and look, you could be a conviction.
Isn't that beautiful?
There you go. Or quite frankly, if you wanted to go on a super insane journey, just the melted baby suri held together with silk mohair, which could be cuckoo bananas. Anyway, we've got options. Anisha is what we're trying to say.
Very nice.
Okay, so you are planning on reknitting the stick season.
Well, not anytime soon. But
okay, well.
I just think that there's lots of beautiful yarns that I would
and
love to see.
So what are your plans for the... Sorry, before we continue with this, you've now dropped the story cardigan situation. So what was your yarn plan for that?
What's the one that Dye's using? Cumbria. I have fallen in love with Dye's Dagmar jacket. She's making a jacket, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
In Glencartha.
Yeah, she's making it, yes, in that colour. And I think I'm going to wait for that colour to come in.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Copy her. Yes, exactly. Because what is Glencartha? It's like a beigey, whitey.
I think it's all of the three wool. Oh my goodness! All the three fibers that are in the yarn undyed.
Okay. Yeah.
So the brown masham, the merino, and the mohair.
That'll be why it's so stunning. It's like just.
Yeah,
the cables pop, and I mean this is
base
stunning.
like this, because each of the yarns takes color slightly differently, it produces this incredible, almost tweed heathered effect. That's also really great for showing off cables and definition.
I was going to ask you about that because I love the idea of a really deep coloured cardigan, but would I want to spend that much time doing cables if it wasn't going to show up? But you think it would?
So I have knit Geiger by Nora Gon in navy, in the colorway Fleet on Arbor from Brooklyn Tweed. I knit it, it's a DK weight yarn, the pattern is knit on a 3.75 millimeter needle, and the entire thing is cabled. The original sample that Nora Gon made is knit in black. And I had the privilege of handling the sample when I worked at Needles in the Hay. We had the trunk show, and the black cables, if you're knitting a white cable to be seen by others, knitting a black cable is knitting a cable for yourself. It is something that reveals itself up close, and until someone is close to you, it is a visible texture. It's not so much a cable. I've knit a fingering weight pullover in black with cabled sleeves by Michelle Wang, also from a Brooklyn Tweed pattern, and it is stunning. I have sold it because we don't stock that yarn any longer, and my body has changed, and if I'm going to reknit it, I'm going to knit it in cream just for aesthetic purposes, because I won't wear it. It will just be for display in the future. But yes, anyway, so Dark cables. I think dark cables, I just finished a big portion of a jacket that I've handed off to the incredible Morag to finish off for me, because it is knit seamlessly top down, and it turns out that it's just not something I'm willing to do any longer. Not that it's not worth it for some of the results, not that there's not only things you can do that way, everyone. I'm not bashing the top down knitting any longer. It's not for Ethan. That's why we have Anisha. She knits things this way and seems to thrive on it. Some sort of like goblin. And no, that's wrong. You're adorable. Like a Fraggle?
I don't know what a Fraggle is.
Oh my goodness.
I'll Google it later and decide if you're being mean or not.
I'm not being mean. I love the Fraggles. Who doesn't love the Fraggles? What has happened to society? Anyway, the Fraggles are a type of Muppet. They are like adorable creatures that live underground in a cute pastel world.
Okay, that sounds cute.
Yeah, they're very nice. Anyway, moving on from Fraggles and back to the knitting, I would say yes, knit dark cables. They're for yourself. Also, you kind of know this because I've knit a navy cable jumper that you can really like.
That's the one in Herb and Hue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, the yarn, just the definition is so good.
Yes, it doesn't matter what color you knit. And that's kind of the same story with Arbor. And Cumbria is quite similar in a lot of ways because it's a round 3 to 4 ply construction yarn, so it has that roundness to it and that structural integrity.
Yeah.
I would say Cumbria rewards being knit a little more densely for a cable. Personally, that's my interpretation. Yes. Sorry, everyone, that ding is my mother texting. Bless her heart. Yes, so, yeah. Now, what else do you have planned?
Yes, I wanted to share my next plan because
you didn't bring all the mini mittens that you... Did you finish all of the mittens?
I still have 3.
Okay, wow, this is... Wow. You are really playing with... You feel fine, do you? Okay.
Not about this one. I don't feel fine about this one. But the second mitten, I know what quantities of yarn to take with me. So they're small.
Plain knitting. Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to share my next plan because obviously I'm not going to be on the podcast for a while because I am going to be...
Away. In Europe.
Yeah. But I have bought myself a skein of Herb and Hue in this colour. Mine is at home. I decided I would just grab a shop copy. And I have bought... Is this one the rabbit or the possum? Rabbit.
That one's rabbit.
Rabbit, okay.
Yeah.
I bought a rabbit pom-pom, and I hope I'm getting the name of the pattern right, but I'm going to do another Sari Nordland because she is the queen of the cables, I feel. Okay, she is a princess of cables.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. And she's got a beautiful hat pattern called, I think it's the August hat. But that feels like a petite knit naming convention, so I might have made that up.
Well, no. I mean, it could... I don't think so. I think you might be right about this, oddly. Yes. I have to say, overall, I think Sari Nordland creates really beautiful, wearable, sensible, feminine things. That's my take on her.
Yeah.
I think she's very good at applying cables to shapes that she develops, in some cases. That I think if someone was to be called any sort of royalty level in a cable, the cables would align on all of their pieces.
Okay, that is fair. She corrected it on the sweater. I don't know why she hasn't gone back and corrected it on the cardigan. They look the same construction.
Pass.
Yes. Anywho.
I don't knit that way, so I can't answer the question.
Yes, so I'm gonna... This is just gonna be the cutest wintry Christmas market beanie. I am hoping to colour match a mohair to go with it.
Okay, to knit it in a bulky way.
Would be incredible.
Okay. Yeah. I don't... my hot take is find a worsted weight pattern and let the Herb and Hue do its thing. It doesn't need any help.
But imagine it fluffy.
I mean, go for it.
I'll see. I will ponder.
I can't really say anything, anyone. I'm sitting here knitting with brushed cashmere. Like, you know, I don't really have... With my fluffy brioche shawl, I don't have... And, you know, apart from that, this... this podcast episode did end up just being a commercial for the fiber company, which is not ever intentional. It's just, you kind of end up knitting with their yarns because you knit with, I knit with a lot of things. I think you knit with a good variety of things. Some stuff from here, some stuff that you find around, some wild things out of your stash, lots of little random bits and pieces of things.
Yes.
You know, like an adorable, like, Taylor of Gloucester mouse situation. You're like a Beatrix Potter character come to life. Anyway, but it is quite interesting how we all sort of explore this whole thing. You definitely go on a bit of an interesting, like, more bravery of holding things together that are not just, like, intended to be together than I think a lot of knitters do. And you are, in relative terms, like a new knitter. Do you think that helps because you don't have, like, preconceived notions about what should and shouldn't be done as much?
I mean, probably. I don't think about it, so I think it just is natural. Like, for me, it's more about the colour than about the brands or the weights or anything like that. Like, I saw the two pinks in the shop, and they just had to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more of an intuitive, playful process.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the best combo. Like, I make everyone touch this sweater because, like, I've been on the fence about mohair just because I think I talked about it already, but if it's held with something really light, like a light fingering merino or something, I don't like the way that feels on my body. It just doesn't feel, like, weighty enough. It feels like
you're wearing a cloud.
Yeah, and I don't like that feeling. It feels kind of prickly to me. But this is the perfect combo of, like, a sport weight, which is a bit heavier, and then I think it's also the wool that's in this mohair.
Yeah, the wool makes it very clingy to the yarn as you're knitting it.
Yeah.
Where that doesn't really happen with the silk mohair in most cases till after you block it.
I think that's a lot of what's happening is that now that it's knitted together, it feels like one strand when you actually touch the sweater. It doesn't...
You don't feel the two strands, like the silk versus... The nylon in the yarn, because Arwetta actually is quite similar. The Arwetta sock yarn plus silk mohair has a very similar feeling to that. And I do wonder, nylon has quite a long staple. It's a really long fiber. And so is mohair. And the silk is one long continuous core throughout. So I do, and alpaca is a long fiber as well. So I do wonder if that's helping. And it's interesting that you don't like I must say, it's interesting to me that you don't like the light fingering weight held together with silk mohair, given how much you've knit and wear just light fingering weight by itself.
Yeah.
In relatively not soft bases.
Oh yeah, my two twigs, the one that's in Highland is definitely not a soft sweater. It's quite a rough yarn, I would say.
Yes, it's very rustic.
Yeah, but it's a light fingering...
$12 of yarn. Like, it's a great value at $12, but it is also a $12 ball of light fingering weight yarn. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, pardon me.
But I really liked that one specifically because it's stranded colour work, so it gets doubled in a lot of places, and I wouldn't want it to be thicker for that sweater. Like, that was the goal, was like a light layer.
Right.
And it's really good as a windbreaker because it is quite, like, the stitches are pretty dense with it being on 2.75mm needles.
Yes.
So yeah.
See, it's fascinating to me because my twigs is knit in 2 sport weight yarns, and
still on the same needle size?
No, on a 325. My original one I knit on a 2.75 with sport weight yarns, and it had a finished fabric like velvet. It's probably one of, in my opinion, it's one of the nicest things I've ever knit. It lives with someone now who I'm very glad. I wouldn't want it with anyone else. It was a fast and not particularly... I find it to be a really meditative and quick knit, which is quite confounding because it should reasonably...
That's not the experience I've had with it.
Okay. That's entirely my experience.
I had a really enjoyable time with it both times, and it was really fun choosing colours and stuff, but yeah, it did take me a while.
Okay. No, I chewed right through it. I found it to be very enjoyable to make, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an oddity on my part there. I've made it twice now, and my other one is also basically 2 sport weight yarns held together. One is wool and spun, but the other one is spin cycle dyed in the wool. But I actually found on a 3.25 millimeter needle that it actually made, still blocked out quite a light fabric, and because mine it's not actually as large as it used to be, when it was so large relative to my body, even though now it's still quite oversized in some spots, it is not a good windbreak, because the wind just scoops right up and under that hem.
Yeah.
Where I think yours has that advantage of being a little closer to the body, helping with that factor with it, because I actually find that one and Tecumseh by Caitlin Hunter, which I have also knit somehow, to both not be particularly warm jumpers.
Yeah, neither of them are going to come with me to Europe. They're not warm enough.
Cancelled. How could you? How could you cancel your twigs? Okay.
They'd look quite beautiful, but no one would see them because they'll be under a coat, and so I'd rather have like this. Imagine this under my coat.
Right. Now the $1 million question: are you taking your new child with you?
I don't think I will. I would love to, but as you've just heard, I'm backpacking. That would take up a significant portion of the bag. And I need room for yarn and all my whips.
Can you imagine me like a hermit crab with everything I own on my back, like walking around, like,
you trying to call that big bag a carry-on?
I've done it before.
I'm not surprised at all.
I've definitely tried to convince them it's a personal item more than once, and they've been like, no. I'm like, oh, fine.
I was watching Laura Penrose, she's a knitter on YouTube, and she just went away to Amsterdam and she'd bought, I didn't know they existed, but it's an empty neck pillow and you fill it with stuff, so she filled it with yarn. Such a clever way to get
incredible
a lot of weight.
Well, given that we're both about to travel, now you're taking that hat project with you. Are you going to take anything else with you project-wise, or are you going to like yarn gamble and hope to find something to cast on there?
Yeah, I have scoped out the first yarn shop already, because first destination is Helsinki. Okay. And they seem to have a really nice little yarn shop there. So
yeah. Does it have a like long, beautiful, unpronounceable Finnish name?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. There's always like 12 syllables, some umlauts, and you're like, and like my favorite is Google now. Everyone has like a speech to text function, so you can like copy and paste it. And every time that I do that with one of the Finnish yarn names or Finnish yarn shop names, I'm just like, well, I'm not saying that in public. Like, there is no way I'm getting that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, continue.
So very excited for that. But no, I will still take several projects. So as we know, I've got 3 single mittens, so I need to make its pair. So I'll be taking that on the plane, hopefully getting that done.
So you have 1 pair of mittens and 1 single mitten?
Yes, and then 1 single fingerless glove. Okay,
so you have 2 orphans?
Yes.
And 1...
finished pair.
Okay, wow.
I'm stressed about this fingerless glove because that needs 10 colours, whereas the other...
Yes, no, we know. I'm just like, I would be stressed about, okay, continue on. So do you have any like hit list brands already for while you're away, or are you just gonna like let the spirit move you?
I think I'll let the spirit move me, but I want to have a really clear idea on patterns.
Okay.
I don't want to pick up any sweater quantities because that's too much weight. Yeah.
So are you hunting for one skein wonder?
I'm thinking like maybe a colour work vest or something like that, where I can get a couple of contrast colours.
Okay. Are you going to attempt to do? Can I make the? Oh no, see, you're not really a shawl knitter, so my suggestion was not going to help.
I have been thinking about that though, because the office in the city extremely cold.
So you could try to pick up 4 to 5 skeins of yarn that kind of work together from each of the different places and knit like a souvenir shawl.
That would be very cute.
It would be very cute. And then when you get back, if you could, what you could do, here's a wild idea, is buy one color of like commercially dyed mohair and hold it together for the whole thing to like blur it.
Yeah, there's 2 patterns I'm really interested in from Stephen West.
Okay.
I've been talking about one of them forever, and that's the Vertices Unite.
Which is actually done, I think, in Qing fiber.
Oh, nice. But that one really interests me. I love the way the color blocking. I don't know how it's done, but yeah, I love the way
you can kind of plan as you go, which is often the way with like. My opinion on West knit shawls is very particular. I have a lot of experience navigating Stephen's approach to knitting for a lot of different reasons, and I have made a lot, I think, compared to the average knitter, a lot of his shawls over the years. Many of which I don't have anymore, but I have made a lot. Not as a lot as some people. And I will say, he is someone who, if you keep going back to him, the shawls and things and blankets and even the garments that you make, if you make more than one, get progressively easier. Not be like, he does use some common themes, but because you kind of get used to his writing style. And each knitwear designer does, for better or worse, have a particular syntax.
Yeah.
And Stephen is his own creature. But sorry, with his modular shawls, I would highly recommend having a clear plan. For like a color palette, and then not worrying about color blocking, if that makes sense. Like if you're like, if this is a good base for your wardrobe, it is. You may want to start with things that complement this and go from there. Yeah. You know.
I think that'll be a fun souvenir one though, if
I think Vertices Unite is a good choice also because it works really well in singles, and I would say singles and sock yarn, but singles especially, tend to be the most consistent base that you can purchase place to place that knit together even from different dyers, because the singles are all very similar in their overall production. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
And then the other one from him, it's in a book, the 52 Weeks of Scarves book.
Okay. Rainbow Road. Yeah. I love that pattern.
Nice. And that's one, like you said, where you can have like one strand of mohair that's the same.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of ways to approach that. And that one could be fun because a lot of European countries do produce quite small batch, relatively rustic, light fingering weight yarns. So you could collect that along the way and get at the final stop like a couple of skeins of a really posh hand-dyed mohair. Yeah. And then knit the whole thing that way. Yeah. So I think those are actually 2 great, you know, they're both, one is entirely modular, one is semi-modular, like you're making individual little triangles that tessellate to make a giant rainbow road. Yeah. If you haven't played Mario Kart, picture a yellow brick road, but rainbow, okay? A homosexual brick road, if you will know. Anyway, it's a beautiful pattern. It looks great tonally, it looks great with high contrast. It's a marled pattern, so that does make souveniring quite easy with it. And I think that either a simple modular approach like Vertices Unite, or that are great approaches. Nice. I think it would be, by the way, everyone, complete insanity if you went with more of a, like, attempting to try to make a cohesive Houses of Reykjavik palette while you were traveling might be a bit of a mission. You could make a really fun, wildly colored, scrappy one, or just a tonal one, I think, with something like that. But for a more planned one, I think your 2 ideas are solid and easy to take with you. Because I also am planning for travel knitting at the moment, and luckily I like to knit and wear fingering weight. So I can pack a lot of fingering weight yarn, which is great, relative to the amount of garments it produces, if you will.
What temperature is it going to be where you are? It's going to be a lot colder than where I'm going to be.
Well, it's going to be colder for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to like try to knit garments to wear there. I already have a good selection of DK and now worsted weight cardigans and pullovers that fit, that I've made either my own patterns or other patterns. Like I'll take Timberline with me. I'll take my drop shoulder, the toile number 1 in the Berenice and the Albertine. I will probably take 1 or 2 of my raglans. I might take this with me to layer underneath of things.
Well, that was going to be your Christmas jumper. Changed your mind.
No, I have different yarn for that now. I might try to make another one before Christmas. I'm also now making this fluffstrosity for myself for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Because
beautiful Christmas jumper.
Yeah, I will look great next to a Christmas tree, which I have guilted my family into setting up in Canada. I love all of you. Thank you so much for putting the tree up for me. I love Christmas. I am actually, Ayla has done a beautiful job decorating the front of the window.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
It looks super great from a distance and it looks very great up close. There are lots of little Christmas decor throughout the shop. We will most likely be limiting carols to the first hour of the shop being open. Unless the employee who's in can handle it all day. That's up to them. You should all be very grateful if you don't like carols that Ethan is not here every day, because not only do I like the carols,
I would be playing them all day.
I like to sing along with them. You're welcome, everyone.
It's joyful.
Yes, it is. It is frickin' joyful. Yeah. And, you know, the nice part, oh my goodness, I just realized that I've forgotten to pick something up at Valentine's, and I've been in 4 times since I ordered it. Okay, so for me, I'm going to take a huge amount of fingering weight yarns, lots of dark omen, lots of hand-dyed fingering weight yarns. I'm having a fingering weight thing. I'm honestly not very interested in yarn shopping anymore. Not, to be clear, guys.
You've like curated your exact dream collection here, so that makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, now I'm kind of like, oh well. So sorry everyone, if Ethan's, the good news everyone is that I'm gonna keep knitting things that you can get yarn for from here or from yarn shops close to you and talking about them and designing more patterns that go with them. The bad news is I won't be like going around yarn shopping any longer unless I'm squiring my sisters about to buy things, because I just personally now have everything I wanted to knit with, which I kind of realized this morning when I was grabbing projects and said to myself, oh no, that's in chink fiber and that's in chink fiber, what are you gonna do? And I went, oh no, wait, we have those yarns, we're good everyone, we got this. So yes, if you want to be like Ethan, Shibuya is available. If you also want to be like Ethan, Cyberpunk is going to be coming in the new year when I launch this pullover. We are going to be doing several pattern collaborations with Dark Omen, some of which will involve kits next year. We will be doing some format of a mohair knit along in the new year. Shipping timelines have turned out to be more of a challenge than we could have anticipated. I'm very sorry. I don't have a huge amount to do with that any longer, so some things may need to be replanned. And by I don't have a huge amount to do with that any longer, I mean I have absolutely nothing to do with that any longer. And I also don't know where anything is in the shop, which I think everyone who works here is very grateful for, because it stops me from moving things and trying to find them, which I think we can all, I'm looking at Dassy behind the camera, I think we can all agree is better for everyone. Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna go, we're gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This longer format is gonna remain. It is going to be moving to a pre-recorded format so we can offer you more variety and stuff. I hope all of you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that your Flocktober is going well. If you're submitting for Flocktober, please email the story of why you made what you made. It doesn't matter what you knit, it doesn't matter how finished it is. We just want to hear and see what you've done to help at getflock.co.nz. All inquiries and stuff like that going forward should be directed there, and somebody will either filter that out to the correct person to respond or will get back to you themselves. Apart from that, I hope all of you have a beautiful rest of your week. I can't wait to see you when you're back. I'm assuming you're not coming to Knit Night on Wednesday.
No.
Okay, so it's been so great having you on the podcast so far this year.
Okay.
I cannot wait for episodes in the new year to see Anisha's post-Europe glow and her many knits. Okay, all you have a beautiful rest of your day. We've got to let this shop open up, and we'll see you soon.